please hit that like button, subscribe, and also hit that notification button if you want to be notified every time I upload a video. And please check out my other videos. So you're here because you want to find out, as an actor, if you need an agent. The ultimate answer is yes. Without an agent, you will only go so far. Do you need an agent from the very beginning when you first start out? And the answer is no. You do not need an agent at the very beginning. Now, if you do have an agent at the very beginning, then you would have to sign up for classes if you don't have any experience, or if you happen to be a real natural and all of a sudden you start to book jobs, then I guess you will be learning on the job. But very few people are so good at it at the very beginning that they don't need classes. Every actor at some point will be taking classes. A lot of actors that you think don't take acting are taking acting. They have coaches on sets. They even Academy Award nominees and winners will always have a coach. They're always working on their craft, because if they're not, their competition is you're always competing for the next job. You're as good as your last job. It does not matter whether you have a multitude of awards. It does not matter. You could be the hottest thing one day, and then the next day the phone doesn't ring. Nobody will pick up the phone or even look at you. So it's a very, very competitive field. It's probably the most competitive field out there. And you're never guaranteed a job. You're always fighting for that job. Now, when you have an agent, the agent submits you to projects, and the casting director usually will bring you in if you're a fit. As a beginning actor, the agent's job will be to convince that casting director that they should see you for that particular role, when there are only so many slots available for each particular role. Meaning, if there's a role for, let's say, the best friend in a film, for example, and they're going through hundreds of pictures, and they say, okay, we're going to see, let's say, 14 actors, 15, maybe 20, maybe even less than that. It really depends on their schedule. They're only going to call the people that they think are potentially going to be the right fit for that role. They're not going to call you in to just see you and get to know you. That's not going to be the time for it. So in that sense, you have to be prepared. And by that I mean you'll be able to take a script, prepare it, go into their office, or in a lot of cases now, you will audition via self-tape. If you have a manager, and eventually you will need a manager, maybe the manager will help you with that, preparing the self-tape. But at some point you will need an agent, because without an agent you will only go so far in the industry, because all the main jobs, all the big parts will only come through casting directors. And if you establish yourself and there's you have a history of doing certain kind of work or whatever, you will probably be seen and brought in without perhaps not an audition, but perhaps maybe an interview with either the producer or the director. And it really depends on many factors. But yes, you will need an agent, and the question always comes down to, how do you get one? How do you get an agent? Let's say you've been in the business for some time and you're trying to get an agent. Well, in most cases, if you if you don't have a referral, usually those are the best. A referral either through somebody that's already at the agency, or you have a manager who will have contacts within a certain agency, and they can how do you call it, talk to the agent on your behalf, so that the agent will see you and maybe even represent you. So there's many there's just not one answer to this, but yes, you will need an agent. And again, if you don't have a referral, then the next thing would be cold, essentially, basically reaching out to the agent, either via sending pictures through the mail to the agency with a cover letter saying that you're looking for representation, and any experience that you have, and maybe even including, for example, if you've already been seen by casting directors, and you've gotten callbacks, and you would put that in probably an introduction letter and hope that they will call you based on your picture. And the other alternative is through either emailing, I guess going through finding the website for the agency, and if they have a policy of how to submit, as an actor to them, then you would follow their protocol. But if there are other areas that you would like me to cover, please write out, put it in the comments, and I will do my best to answer that via either another videotape. The other thing that I didn't cover is basically here I'm talking about adult actors. Obviously, the younger you are, the easier it becomes to perhaps secure an agent when you're first starting out. I'm neglecting here, for example, showcases. This is another way where they discover actors, and I'm talking about agents discovering actors. The other is either you met a casting director, the casting director likes you enough to speak on your behalf to an agent, and that's a good referral. The other, as I mentioned, showcases. If agents come and see you, that's another way. Obviously, if you put a demo reel, I think is extremely important. So if you don't have one, you should find a way to get one, whether you get involved in student films or independent short films, or anything that you have that will showcase what you bring to the table. It's very important for an agent. Also, having a good headshot that represents the type that you are, that the agent will sell you on, because they have to be able to sell you. They're going to get on the phone and try to convince a casting director to see you when they have so many other people fighting for a spot to be seen, or for that matter, one of the slots for self-tape, that have probably much more qualified, have much more experience, and been in the business for longer than you have. And so a good headshot that represents who you are and the type that you represent goes a long way. So I mentioned showcases. Usually that's one way where you get found that way. Obviously, the other alternative is, as I mentioned, having a demo tape and you submitting that to the agency. Referrals, as I mentioned, the younger you are, the easier it becomes, because experience is not as important as a particular look. And so it's just, again, getting either a referral or you self-submitting to the agent directly, or for that matter, the manager. If you can get a manager, that's also helpful. And each one takes a cut. Usually managers, I believe, take around 15 to 20%. Agents are at 10%. And I can go on and on about this, just this part. I mean, there's so many wheels to to this particular area. So again, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification button so that you get notified each time I post a video. And if you have any suggestions or any comments, please leave them in the comments section. Thank you for listening.